Sola, sin tu cariño voy caminando y no sé qué hacer. Ni el cielo me contesta cuando pregunto por ti, mi bien. No he podido olvidarte desde la noche en que te perdí. Sombras de duda y celos solo me envuelven pensando en ti. Deja que yo te busque y si te encuentro, vuelve otra vez. Olvida lo pasado, ya no te acuerdes de aquel ayer. Olvida lo pasado, ya no te acuerdes de aquel ayer. Ajuya. Mientras yo estoy dormida, sueño que vamos los dos muy juntos a un cielo azul. Pero cuando despierto, mi cielo es rojo, me faltas tú. Y aunque yo sea culpable de aquella triste separación, vuelve por Dios tus ojos, vuelve a quererme, vuelve mi amor. Deja que yo te busque y si te encuentro, vuelve otra vez. Olvida lo pasado, ya no te acuerdes de aquel ayer. Olvida lo pasado, ya no te acuerdes de aquel ayer.
Thank you, Beatriz, for gracing us with your beautiful voice. Originally from Pittsburgh, California, Beatriz Figueroa is a Mexican-American national award-winning singer currently based in Sacramento. Beatriz has been performing professionally for over 10 years, executing a variety of styles ranging from Mexican folk, jazz to classical. Beatriz graduated from Sacramento State University in spring of 2019 with degrees in music and sociology, fortifying her two passions of singing and social justice. Currently, Beatriz continues advocating for immigrant communities and communities of color throughout her profession, advocacy, and the arts. Bienvenidos and welcome to the 5th annual Gala De Oro celebrating El Éxito Latinx hosted by the Sacramento Latinx Alumni Chapter. I am Mari Carmen Estudillo from Latino 97.9 and I will be your host this evening. As the Latinx student population grows, so does the need to inspire current and future students of what is possible by positively portraying the accomplishments of the Latinx community. The Gala De Oro is an event that helps foster the community, recognizes achievement, and brings visibility to the amazing work of the Latinx alumni and affiliates of Sacramento State. We're eager to announce that this year the awards are a little different. As many of you know, in the past after nominations were finalized, a link to vote for your favorite one would be sent out. This year we have decided to recognize everyone who has been nominated. After all, this recognition ceremony is not a competition. We are so excited to celebrate the abundance of Latinx excellence who have left an imprint in their industries and communities. On that note, we have a few words from the Latinx Alumni Chapter's president, Ana Lopez.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Ana Chaveli Lopez, pronouns she, her, hers, and I have had the honor of serving the Latinx Alumni Chapter as its president-elect for the 2020-21 cycle year. This past year, as we all experienced, was a unique, unexpected year. Although we had our challenges, the chapter has managed to keep us virtually in touch. In fall, we hosted a Loteria night as well as La Loteria as Creative Resistance by Sacramento State Professor Luis Garcia. In partnership with the Sacramento Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we also managed to launch a small business campaign in order to support our Latinx small businesses. Now, I am pleased to welcome you all to our 5th annual Gala De Oro, celebrando el éxito Latinx. Every year, Gala's main purpose is to celebrate the Latinx excellence that shines within our greater Sacramento area while raising funds to support our Latinx students at Sacramento State. On behalf of the chapter, we would like to thank those who participated in the nomination process, as we know it may be time-consuming. We appreciate your time and input into nominations. Furthermore, I would like to congratulate all nominated. Thank you for being an amazing role model to our students in our community. For those who are watching today and have graduated, have you thought about how to stay connected to Sacramento State? The Sacramento State Alumni Association is committing to being accessible, which is why membership is now open to all alumni and friends of Sacramento State at no cost. The Latinx Alumni Chapter, a chapter from the Alumni Association, offers leadership opportunities, networking events, and the opportunity to give back to your community. Joining the chapter is easy. Head over to the Sacramento State Alumni Association website, click on Claim Your Free Membership, and fill out the form. Don't forget to choose the Latinx Alumni as your chapter. We hope to see you soon as an affiliate of the Sacramento State Latinx Alumni Chapter.
Thank you, Anna, for those kind words of welcome. And now I would like to introduce our next performance for this evening, the talented and truly amazing Sacramento State alumni, Jorge Quintana. Jorge Quintana is an undocumented poet healer from Sacramento, California, and he is the current host of the podcast, The Spirits in Poetry. Let's give Jorge a big welcome.
Warm greetings to you all on this beautiful day. It is an honor to be here present with you. I want to give a big shout out to Sac State's Latinx Alumni Chapter for inviting me here. A big shout out to Laura for making this happen and for working with me through this time. Any day I get to share a poem is a good day, and today I have 2 quick poems to share with y'all. So I invoke the spirit of our ancestors to surround us so that you and I can be present here in this moment, and may my words reach your hearts. A veces is sometimes, and sometimes I cut my body into pieces which are pedazos of my sanity, pero the kind that stick, which means que se pegan en mis pulmones como plaga, which is plague, which is death, which is where I'm afraid to be, que significa que me da miedo morir, which means I'm afraid to die, which means que no puedo dormir porque tengo una pistola en mi cabeza, which means my head is full of thoughts and every one of them remember you, which means que muero cada día al recordarte, which means memories are a slow death. And my feet are made of cardboard, which means cartón, which means que soy parte santo, which is saint, which is holy, which is Dios que vemos al morir, which is divine intervention, which is why I write, which is por qué escribo, which is a loose translation for saying that the reason that I'm a poet is because I am looking for a death that I can translate into life. And the second poem I want to share with y'all today is a special one in my heart. It's titled Morelia. Because every winter, from November to March, millions of monarch butterflies migrate to Morelia, Mexico. It takes 4 generations of monarchs to complete the journey, which means that no butterfly ever makes the same journey twice. I wonder why the monarchs chose Morelia, and how generations later they know exactly where to find it. I wonder if their migration is genetic. If upon being born, the first thing they feel is the urge to fly south toward an orange forest, if their bodies are wired to leave before they know why. When they cluster like fire around the trees in Morelia, the people welcome their arrival as blessing. If their flight is a miracle, I wonder how many die of thirst on their journey. If no one collects the bodies, do they grow in the trees? I wonder if the forests in Morelia are just one big graveyard and the monarchs are really just migrating to their dead. The interesting thing about Morelia, Mexico, is that it was named after José María Morelos, a priest who was born in the land when it still had its Spanish name of Valladolid. He's the man who led the Mexican Revolution after the execution of Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla. Morelos was captured in 1815 and was tried and sentenced to death by the Catholic Church. Before he was executed, they defrocked him as a cleric. To avoid a public reaction, they executed him almost 200 miles away from his home. He was last seen walking to a firing squad, praying. I wonder what he became when he was no longer a man. I wonder if he asked God for wings, if upon dying he became the first butterfly, fleeing back home. Thank you for sharing this space with me on this beautiful, grand day, and may you all find peace in your travels and journeys, and may we cross paths one day like the butterflies do on their migration. Thank you for listening to my poetry.
Gracias, Jorge, for moving us with your powerful words. For more of his work, you can follow him on Instagram, @Jorge Quintana Poetry, or visit his website, jorgequintanapoetry.com. And now I would like to introduce our first keynote speaker, a Sac State alumna whose drive and passion for inclusivity and representation of the Latinx community inspires anyone who crosses her path. Leslie is the co-founder and CEO of the Latina-owned and operated beauty brand Vive Cosmetics, a first-generation college graduate and a proud daughter of Mexican immigrants. Leslie has worked tirelessly along her co-founder Joana Rosario Rocha to change the narrative of Latinxes in the beauty industry. Recognizing the lack of authentic representation of the Latinx community, Leslie has used her platform to highlight and celebrate diverse skin tones, languages, and ancestries. As if creating and growing a successful beauty brand was not enough, Leslie also does amazing work in the community. Leslie organizes the annual Young Latinas Inspire conference at Sacramento State to bring awareness and create a dialogue around the important issues that Latinas face in our world today. Leslie has been recognized on several national media outlets for her extraordinary work, including Me Too, Teen Vogue, BuzzFeed, and Oprah Magazine, just to name a few. Her brand, Vive Cosmetics, was awarded the 2017 Latina Beauty Awards by Latina Magazine. Leslie was also the 2019 Latina Rising Estrella recipient from the Sacramento Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Leslie is truly a powerhouse whose love for La Comunidad Latinx shines in everything she does. Please help me in welcoming Leslie Valdivia.
Hi, my name is Leslie Valdivia, and welcome to the Sac State Latinx Alumni Chapter Gold Gala, an event all about celebrating el éxito Latinx, Latina, and Latino. While there are many amazing and talented alumni saving and changing the world, I'm grateful for the board for inviting me to be here today. Before I talk about my journey and my love for Sac State, I want to congratulate all the nominees tonight. Personally, who I know, and I'm so honored and proud to see many of them get recognized for the work that they're doing and the impact they're making. Felicidades a todos y suerte. What I want to share with you all is a little bit about my journey and about what I thought was my choice to go to Sac State. Now I realize it was all meant to be. As a first-generation Latina, first one in my family to go to college, growing up in the Central Valley, and growing up in a very strict household, many of these things that many of you can relate. I knew I wanted to go to college, but I needed to stay near family, but not too near because I wanted to spread my wings. Sac State seemed like a logical choice at the time and seemed like a good fit for me and for what I needed to be close to my family. Since day one, And being a baby, bright-eyed freshman, I worked on campus, and I worked at Sac State. I worked in the dorms making pizzas and coffees for the students that live there. I then graduated to working at the Sac State orientation office as an orientation leader, and a place that I truly enjoyed because I was able to use my Spanish language skills to give tours of Sac State. And I used to tell parents all about campus, all about college life, because again, many didn't have that experience, and many students coming into campus were also first generation. So I was able to make that connection and tell, parents that were just like mine that it was all going to be okay. After working as a Sac State orientation leader, I worked at the communications and president's office. And I got to work on amazing, high-profile events with award-winning journalist Mariano Hosa, also Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and many other things. And beyond that, I was able to intern at many places in the community where I met so many people that led me to so many connections after I graduated. From working as a freshman making pizzas to graduating after and working at top marketing agencies in the Sacramento community, all of that connections lead me back to Sac State. And I'm so thankful and fortunate that I chose to come to this community and be part of it and be active in it. And I think that has grown and shown the immense impact and potential that it has had. I am one of those that believes that everything happens for a reason. And Sac State for me has always been there for me. And I'm thankful for the memories, learning opportunities, and growth. And while I believe that everything happens for a reason, my life, my business, and what I do now has all been on purpose. And for what I thought was a choice to go to Sac State, I now realize it's exactly where I needed to be. So if you're an alumni, I hope you did take time back to reflect on the journey of how you started, how you got here, and where you're going, and how really it's all connected. If you're a student, make sure you get involved. Try working on campus. Join a sorority, fraternity, other organizations on campus. Immerse yourself and explore the community surrounding the school as well, because it'll take you places, just like it did for me. Thank you again for inviting me to be here with y'all today. I hope you enjoy the rest of the program. Mil gracias y con cariño.
Thank you, Leslie, for your truly inspirational keynote. We just heard from Sacramento State Hornet alumna, and now we have the honor to hear from our very own Sacramento State profesora, Dr. Julie Figueroa. Julie Lopez Figueroa is a professor of ethnic studies at Sacramento State University. With a focus on retention, her quantitative research focuses on access and success of first-generation students within higher education, specifically Latino males. Nationally, she is recognized as one of the earliest contributors, informing and framing the body of knowledge, examining the academic success of Latino males in higher education. She is particularly interested in understanding how teaching and learning in diverse classroom settings can contribute towards institutional retention efforts. As a first-generation college professor who was first-generation college student, Dr. Figueroa prioritizes being actively involved in mentoring students. Dr. Figueroa engages in mentoring many undergraduate, doctoral students, as well as junior faculty through various professional organizations, as well as informal networks. Please help me welcome Dr. Julie Figueroa.
Good evening. Before I begin, I just wanted to share a few notes of thanks with some folks in the room. First, I want to thank the Latinx Alumni Association for the invitation. It's always a privilege and an honor to be of service. And I also want to give a special thanks to Luis for helping me for tonight's recording and just being instrumental in bringing me on board and inviting me to be part of this year's Gala De Oro. Finally, I want to give thanks and acknowledgement to the indigenous people whose land Sacramento State is on, the Maidu, the Miwok, and the Nisenan. When Luis first approached me about this opportunity to speak with you tonight, the first thing that popped into my mind was this notion of excellence. And for a brief second, I thought to myself, oh, academic excellence, great, I'll talk about that. And then I paused and I thought about, well, wait a minute, that's a professor hat. Let me think about who I am in totality. And I thought about the fact that I'm the daughter of Mexican immigrant and migrant parents. I was a first generation college student that became a first generation college professor and a former EOP student at that. And I began to be deeply disappointed in myself and quite dissatisfied to only narrowly think of excellence as that being academic. And thankfully, I'm somebody who considers themselves to be student-centered. And being student-centered means that I can be held accountable and remain open and practice a sense of humility to learn from my students what real excellence means. And so tonight, I want to talk to you a little bit about what excellence means through my relationship with students and what I've learned from them over the course of 17 years. First, I realized that excellence is a partnership. And unfortunately, my academic training didn't teach me that. My academic training taught me to address their intellect and develop that skill. But to infuse humanity, that came from my culture. And so it's from that culture that I thought to myself, you know, I want to learn something about my students. I want to not just meet them, I want to know them. I want to be able to grow with them because after all, teaching and learning is a partnership. So I developed an assignment. It's called Who Am I? And in that assignment, I learned about the history of their names, their life's ups and downs. I learned about their family, maybe some early schooling experiences and how they thrive amidst incredible poverty, sometimes food and housing insecurity, and how graduating from college means they can finally silence those messages of doubt that they wouldn't amount to much. After learning these different ways that they negotiate everyday responsibilities to show up in my class, I realized there is nothing routine about them. And so I realized that their boundless spirit of determination and the hope reflected in that assignment, Who Am I, really captures for me what excellence is about. It's about continuing to remain open and continuing to know that excellence is not perfection, it's process, it's development, it's exploration. And that's important for students, not only for students to remember, but it's also equally important for faculty to remember as well. The second lesson kind of dovetails off the first, which is that excellence is a journey. And as a professor, I think it's my responsibility to teach them in a way that hopefully sets them up to experience achievement, to experience excellence. I send up mandatory office hours so I can speak with them and see how they're doing. I create assignments where they can showcase their intellectual talents. And I often provide compliments that are sincere, especially when I see a student really stepping outside their comfort zone. And yet, even when I do all these things, what's interesting and really at times startling is that sometimes students meet those strategies with a sense of skepticism, especially when I tell them they're excellent, that they're excellent. And they look at me and their response sometimes is, well, I have never made the dean's list. How can I be excellent? I've never earned straight A's. How can I be excellent? Other times there's doubt that I could sincerely think they could be excellent, given that they don't have any award to point to say, you're right, I am excellent. So I realized that oftentimes I find myself reminding students that sometimes our greatest work doesn't receive public acknowledgement. And so that doesn't mean it doesn't command my attention or respect. In fact, quite the opposite. It makes me work harder for them. I've been known to print out certificates of appreciation, certificates of excellence. I've been known to offer myself as a mentor, regardless of the major, because after all, who doesn't need a cheerleader? And most importantly, I've learned their names, and I've learned to correctly pronounce their names. Those examples of respect and trying to honor someone are so pivotal in understanding that I'm honoring their excellence. And even though we're Zooming at this point, I usually have the students turn on their cameras at the beginning and end of class because I want them to know I still see them. And I want to honor their efforts for coming to class. I know that the more I think about what students are living through, given my first assignment, I realize again, there's nothing routine about deciding to attend class, to speak up, to study, to finish a semester, and to finally lead into graduation. But thankfully, over the course of 15 weeks, we learn that trust is key and that it's been being established slowly over time. And so it's amazing to see how students ease up on their reluctance and are surrendering to those messages of excellence and amazement that I often deliver their way. And then guess what happens? Their grades increase, their participation increases, they manifest leadership skills that they didn't even know they possessed. Right? So it's nothing I did. It's my listening to what they could do in creating an environment where they could thrive. That's my goal. That's what excellence is, right? But I couldn't have learned that as a professor on my own. I had to learn that through my students. And so I really thank them for being so courageous with their aspirations and constantly reminding me that I need to look deeper and take a pause and listen. The third lesson that I have that I learned over time is that as professors, we receive teaching evaluations each semester. And I would say that my scores have been fairly great. And yes, I did earn a teaching award for it, but that's still not a point of complacency for me. I'm not satisfied with that. I'm a long hauler, in meaning that I want to be able to make the kind of impact where we've established a relationship and I can talk to a student 2-3 years from now and know that we are still connected. And so I wanted to share one measure of excellence that lets me know I'm doing a pretty good job. And it's an evaluation from a student that I met a year and a half ago. And interestingly enough, he just emailed me April 1st of this month. So I wanted to read his quick email to me that lets me know I'm doing the best that I can. It says, Dr. Figueroa, I don't know if you remember me, but I took your course, Ethnic Studies 130. I just wanted to thank you so much for your class. Now that I'm finishing up my teaching credential, I noticed and have your class did prep me for having talks with students, being able to teach them as well. I'm currently the only male in the bilingual authorization group and one of 20 students in the credential program of roughly 120. I'm proud of who I am and who I've become. Teaching in a dual immersion class has shown me who I want to be as a teacher and what I want my students to learn and who I want them to become. And for them to learn where they're going and the importance of them being proud. I have felt that taking your class really did show me how powerful we are. I've also written about you in my assignments about classroom management because I've always been fascinated, how you ran our classroom and just went with the flow of things. I've talked about you and have written class assignments about you and the norms you set up for us. I just wanted to thank you for all your classes, and for the way you are. Hoping you're doing well during the pandemic and teaching online. All the best. Salvador Mejia. Well, Salvador, thank you for letting me know I'm doing excellent. And tonight, as I reflect on the Gala de Oro, I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to reflect on the privilege and the honor to serve students, to cheer them on, to mentor them. And I'm so grateful that the Latinx Alumni Association is in existence, because it's a full circle experience that reminds students that excellence is a trajectory they can aim for. Thank you so much and have a good evening.
Thank you, Doctora Figueroa, for those beautiful words of inspiration. Now, this is a great spot for us to transition into our main event. While the circumstances of the pandemic have brought many challenges to our families and our communities, it did not stop us from recognizing all of the wonderful work that our fellow Sac State Hornets are doing in their fields and in our communities. This year, the 5th annual Gala De Oro is recognizing alumni and affiliates across 6 different categories. This year, our award categories are as follows: the Distinguished Éxito Latinx Award, the Latinx Millennial Award, the Trailblazer Éxito Latinx Award, the Rising Éxito Latinx Award, the Student Éxito Latinx Award, and the Small Business Latinx Award. Without further ado, let's begin. Our first category is the Student Éxito Latinx Award. This recognition is awarded to undergraduate Sacramento State students who have demonstrated academic excellence and persisted through social and economic barriers and have contributed to their communities. Our recipient for the Student Éxito Latinx Award is Leonor Victoria. Leonor Victoria is an indigenous Mexican woman originally from Oxnard, California, and is a proud farm worker and daughter of immigrant farm working parents. She is a first-gen graduating 4th-year political science student. She is involved with clubs on campus and organizations that help raise awareness of the social and political issues that minority populations face, and helps increase the involvement of Chicanx, Latinx students in higher education. During the academic year, Leonor is a full-time student, works with students in the Odyssey mentoring program, and obtains a full-time job as a cashier at her local grocery store. Leonor's aspiration after college is to be admitted to graduate school, where she wants to establish a strong foundation that elevates and promotes the status of Indigenous, Chicanx, Latinx culture and identities, as well as helping improve graduation and success rates in graduate school. Leonor has provided us with a few words to express her gratitude. I am very grateful to be one of many nominees for the 5th annual Gala de Oro. Thank you, Latinx Alumni Chapter, for giving me the opportunity to be part of this year's Gala de Oro and for allowing me to share my story and my journey. Thank you, Professor Victor, all the professors, peers, Odyssey, DRC, and each student I have worked with for all the opportunities and amazing mentorship I have received from every one of you. It is an honor to have met every single person and have had the privilege to meet and work with. Without all of you, I would not be who I am today. I am just a brown girl trying to make this world a better place for all of my gente and communities affected by injustice and inequalities. Our next category is the Latinx Small Business Award. The Latinx Small Business Award is rewarded to Latinx small business owner, startup, or entrepreneur who stands out for their exceptional business practices, innovation, and ingenuity to empower the Latinx community. Our first recipient for the Latinx Small Business Award is Gladys Gonzalez Guzman. Gladys is a hard-working mother and wife who also serves as an educator at Cesar E. Chavez Intermediate School, and Crazy Cactus Chica. Her love for plants first sprouted thanks to her mother, which grew into a deeper passion as she entered the señora life. Slowly but surely, she filled every spot within her home with beautiful cacti and succulents. The Nopalera specializes in growing succulents and cactus con mucho amor, offering clients plant arrangements for all occasions. They also focus on providing our community with knowledge of how to care for and nurture their plant babies through organized events at the Nopalera. Here are some words from Gladys. Thank you for this nomination and for the love. Thank you to my family and friends for sharing and supporting this small business, but such a big dream. Gracias to our Latinx Alumni Chapter for the social media shoutouts. Last but not least, I am forever grateful with my husband for not only supporting me, but for helping me throughout this journey of mine. My heart is filled with gratitude. Gracias. Our second recipient for the Latinx Small Business Award is Dorian Medina. Dorian is a published blogger and former D1 Sacramento State athlete. Dorian is the owner of BLK Box Mobile Fitness. Ultimately, Dorian is a young man with big dreams. And here are a few words from Dorian Medina from his BLK Box Mobile Fitness Carrito.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Dorian Medina. I graduated from Sacramento State in 2015 with a degree in kinesiology, coaching, and exercise science. I just want to say thank you so much for the nomination. I'm super filled with gratitude, and I'm super humbled for the nomination. I'm really happy to represent Sacramento State and the Latino Alumni Association. Thank you so much for the constant support, for what you do for the community, and Stingers Up. Thank you all.
The next category is the Rising Éxito Latinx Award. The Rising Éxito Latinx Award is awarded to the graduate who has received their first Sacramento State degree within the last 5 years, demonstrating early career success while also contributing to their community. Our first recipient of the Rising Éxito Latinx Award is Michaela Bustamante. Michaela Bustamante is a high school social science teacher. She graduated from Sacramento State with her Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice, spring of 2018. A few words now from Michaela. I am so honored and blessed to have received this nomination. I am truly thankful for all the teachers and students I've met over the past 3 years. I wouldn't be here without them. Our second recipient of the Rising Éxito Latinx Award is Lilia A. Contreras Ramirez. Lilia Contreras immigrated to the United States at the age of 10 alongside her family in pursuit of the American dream. She currently serves as the retention specialist for the College Assistance Migrant Program, CAMP. In this role, she focuses on students' professional, academic, and personal development. Lilia is passionate about immigrant rights, educational equity, and other social justice issues. She believes education has the power to transform the lives of all students. Lilia earned her bachelor's degree in social science from Sacramento State. Here are a few of her words. I would like to dedicate this award to every single person who has invested in my personal, academic, and professional growth. I would like to thank my parents for their unconditional love and continuous sacrifice. I would also like to thank my mentors and colleagues who have guided me with a strong but kind hand. Thank you for believing in me when I didn't. Thank you to my friends who have been lighthouses in my moments of doubt and darkness. It definitely takes a village, and I am proud to be part of the Sacramento State familia. Thank you. Our next category is the Trailblazer Éxito Latinx Award. The Trailblazer Éxito Latinx Award is awarded to alumni who have pioneered unique career accomplishments, achieved remarkable career success, and have made contributions to the campus and/or the community. Our first recipient for the Trailblazer Éxito Latinx Award is Armando Salud. Armando Salud is an emerging local and national leader in the fields of election administration and civic engagement. At Yolo County, Armando serves as a deputy of elections with responsibilities for the successful implementation of all components of election management. He is a proud immigrant of Mexico and a naturalized USA citizen, and he was the first in his family to graduate from a university. In California, he also serves as a county designee advisor for the California Secretary of State Language Accessibility Advisor Committee. Here are some words from Armando. I will start by acknowledging and thanking the person who has nominated me. It is truly an honor to be a nominee in the greater Sacramento region, where there is wealth of Latinx members of the community who play such pivotal roles in supporting and bringing awareness to the needs of our community. For those same reasons, and regardless of the outcome, I am already a winner and congratulate my fellow nominees. I will continue my thank you thoughts by saying this nomination fuels the fire and passion I have to continue to contribute and support those in need. I am a proud immigrant whose success story hopefully inspires those younger than me to reach beyond the stars, because anything is possible no matter what barriers or struggles you have faced. Our second recipient for the Trailblazer Éxito Latinx Award is Marlon Cuellar. Marlon was born in San Francisco, California, to a single mother from El Salvador. He is currently the Senior Program Manager for the California Endowment, where he is responsible for strategic grant-making on the health system team and Northern Region of California. Previously, he has worked as a legislative aide in the office of Assemblywoman Mari Salas, where he was responsible for a wide variety of state policy issues, including health education, human resources, transportation, and public safety. Previously to the State Assembly, he worked for the California Medical Association. Congressman Howard Berman, the Department of Managed Healthcare, Associated Student, Inc. at Sacramento State, and the Public Health Institute. Marlon graduated in 2005 with a bachelor's degree in government and in 2018 with a master's of public administration from the University of Southern California. During his time off, he enjoys running outdoors and seeing the next generation succeed. Here are a few words from our Trailblazer recipient, Marlon Cuellar.
Hello everyone, my name is Marlon Cuellar and I graduated Sacramento State University in the year 2005 as a government major. I want to thank everybody that's involved with the 5th annual Gala De Oro event, and thank you so much for the nomination. Really, Sac State is where both inside and outside of the classroom I had the experiences of learning about so many health injustices that exist in California, but also with surrounded by a community and passionate people who want to tackle these health injustices, and I continue that work to this day. And I'm proud of everyone and all the next generation of Sac State graduates that are part of the community. Go Stingers up!
And our third recipient for the Trailblazer Éxito Latinx Award is Roberto Ruiz. Roberto Robbie Ruiz was born in Ventura, California. He is the second oldest of 4 siblings. His parents were migrants working in the fields of California and Oregon, and as a child, he moved around with his family during the picking seasons until they permanently settled in Ukiah, California in 1996. Roberto joined the U.S. Marine Corps in 2003, where he served a 5-year term. After his honorable discharge in 2008, Roberto relocated to Sacramento, California, where he pursued an Associate's in Science degree in aeronautics. Roberto transferred to Sac State to further his education and graduated in the spring of 2016 with a business administration degree. Roberto currently works for the Federal Aviation Administration in the Sacramento region as an airway transportation system specialist. Here are some words of gratitude from Roberto. I want to say thank you for the nomination, and that I am proud to be a Sac State alumni who loves being part of the Sacramento community. During my time at Sac State, I was fortunate to form and be part of Sigma Omega Delta, a service fraternity which seeks to unite veterans, families of veterans, and those who want to join the military in the future. I continue to work with the organization and provide coaching and mentorship to new members and recent graduates as they seek job opportunities. I believe there is no better cause than helping others reach their full potential because it helps move our community forward. Our next category is the Latinx Millennial Award. The Latinx Millennial Award is awarded in recognition of millennial alumni who are mid-level in their career, leverage partnerships and network, utilize social media platforms to advance professionally, and also use social media platforms to create and promote opportunities for the Latinx community. Our first recipient for the Latinx Millennial Award is Lori Ruelas. Lori Ruelas is from Lodi, California, and the oldest daughter of 3. Lori was raised by a strong woman who taught her the value of hard work at an early age. Lori is a first-generation college graduate from Sac State and DACA recipient. Lori strives to share her story to young adults to show them the possibilities. I am passionate about sharing resources to women who aspire to attend college. Now, Lori has a few words for us.
Hola a todos, my name is Lori Ruelas and I graduated from Sacramento State in December 2014 with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. And I want to say thank you so much for this nomination for this award. You know, I started Sacramento State in 2009 all the way to 2014, and while I was a student there, I received so much support from Latinx professors, nonprofit organizations, and so many other local leaders. So I just want to express my gratitude for all the support that I received while I was in school. Now as alumni, I definitely want to focus on giving back to Sacramento State community in particular by being an advocate for DACA students, because I was one of those students, and I think it's so important to continue to support students who are under DACA, and not only that, Latinx students and first-generation college students. So I just want to say thank you once again for this nomination. I'm very honored and grateful to be nominated alongside other remarkable leaders, and I look forward to seeing everybody in the future at the in-person event.
Our second recipient for the Latinx Millennial Award is Eric Ramirez. Eric serves as a program coordinator of the Dreamer Resource Center at Sacramento State, where he oversees programming and support services for undocumented students and students of mixed status families. He also provides leadership and support to a dedicated team of student assistants and interns. Eric immigrated from Jalisco, Mexico at the age of 4 and is a proud DACA recipient. He is passionate about immigrant rights and social justice, and he believes that education can transform lives. Eric earned his bachelor's and master's degrees in communication studies from Sacramento State, and he is pursuing a doctorate in educational leadership and policy. During his free time, Eric enjoys hiking, camping, reading, and spending time with family and friends. Here are some words from Eric. It is an honor to be nominated for recognition at this year's Gala De Oro. Gracias to the Planning Committee and the Latinx Alumni Chapter. Every day, I am lucky to work with amazing students who are determined to achieve their dreams, despite the challenges of undocumented status. The majority of them are Latinx, first generation, and from low-income backgrounds. Yet, they are hardworking, resilient, and incredibly inspirational. I am honored to play a small role in their success. Since I was a kid, I knew that my purpose was to ayudar a mi gente. I am humbled by this work, and I realize that there is so much more that can be done. I look forward to continuing to advocate for the needs of students, especially undocumented students, immigrant students, and those from underserved backgrounds, and to uplifting the Latinx community. Thanks again to the Latinx Alumni Chapter for their support. Felicidades to all the other nominees. Last but not least, we have the Distinguished Éxito Latinx Award. This award is in recognition of exceptional professional achievements and community contributions. Nominees must have achieved prominence in their chosen fields and brought distinction to the university and/or their community through their accomplishments. Our first recipient for the Distinguished Éxito Latinx Award is Dario Gonzalez. The two most important things in my life are my family and my commitment to Las Palmas school community. I am nothing without my incredible better half, Alejandra. Everything I strive to accomplish is dedicated to my children, Sofia and Antonio. And of course, we are nothing without the love and support of our familia, my parents, siblings, and extended family. And as if this intrinsic wealth was not enough, I have had the privilege of spending over 20 years striving to improve the lives of every individual at Las Palmas Elementary School, students, family, staff, and community. La verdadera riqueza no se mide en dinero, estatus o poder. Se mide en el legado que dejamos a quienes amamos e inspiramos. César Chávez. And now some words of gratitude from Dario. Undoubtedly, there are countless others who are equally, if not more deserving than I am of this nomination. For those individuals, their commitment to service is an everyday achievement that should never be taken for granted. For someone to believe that I somehow belong among them is equally humbling and motivating. I do not view this nomination as the pinnacle. Rather, it's the germination of a higher set of ideals to which I will now hold myself in honor of individuals that saw something in me that I perhaps did not see in myself. I am better because you believe in me. Como es el dicho, no sé si en mi vida he dado mucho o poco, pero lo que sí sé es que todo lo di de corazón. And our second recipient for the Distinguished Éxito Latinx Award is Luis Genaro Garcia. Luis Genaro Garcia is an artist, educator, and activist, and formal high school art teacher. He draws on the experiences of marginalized students to help them think critically about their neighborhoods and challenge stereotypes of their community through art. He has dedicated his work to improving the academic experiences of students and their communities through community engagement. He is currently an assistant professor of art education at California State University, Sacramento. Profe Luis has a few words to share with us.
Greetings, Sac State Latinx Alumni Chapter. My name is Profe Garcia, Professor of Art Education at Sacramento State, and I wanted to reach out to thank you all for the nomination for your Gala De Oro Award. I recognize that although I'm a profe coming into the community of Sacramento, I do want to appreciate the relationships that I've been building through the art-making process with the community. Thank you once again for the nomination. See you all later.
Now let's take this opportunity to recognize all of our recipients one last time. Before we close out the event, we have some final words from our current Vice President and soon-to-be President for the Latinx Alumni Chapter, Laura Ramirez.
Thank you all for your participation in tonight's event. The annual Gala De Oro was created to help foster community, recognize achievement, and bring visibility to the Latinx alumni and affiliates of Sacramento State. It is truly amazing to see the Latinx excellence that shines within our community. Before tonight ends, I would like to invite you all to participate in our Give Sac State Day Challenge. This year's goal is to receive 15 donations during our 36-hour Give Sac State Day Challenge starting tomorrow, April 23rd at 5 a.m. If the challenge is met, we will commit to giving $1,000 to our Latinx Alumni Scholarship Fund. Help us to accomplish our goal by donating to our chapter during the Give Sac State Day 36-hour challenge. Once again, I would like to say thank you to our exceptional nominees who demonstrate what it means to be hecho o hecha in Sac State. Our keynote speakers, Dr. Julie Figueroa and Leslie Valdivia, our talented performers, Beatriz and Jorge Quintana, and all of you at home joining us tonight. Buenas noches, Hornet Familia. Stingers up.
Gracias, Laura Ramirez. And thank you, viewer, for joining us at the 5th Annual Gala de Oro, celebrando our Latinx community here at Sacramento State. I'm Mari Carmen Estudillo, and I will see you at our next award ceremony.
Mientras yo estoy dormida, sueño que vamos los dos muy juntos a un cielo azul. Pero cuando despierto, mi cielo es rojo, me faltas tú. Y aunque yo sea culpable de aquella triste separación, vuelve por Dios tus ojos, vuelve a quererme, vuelve mi amor. Deja que yo te busque y si te encuentro, vuelve otra vez. Lo pasado, ya no te acuerdes de aquel ayer. Olvida lo pasado, ya no te acuerdes.